believe that love is sacrifice per se, because I did grow up thinking that, oh my gosh, if you love someone, you have to sacrifice. And that led to self-sacrificing for the people that you love. And I don't believe that. I think that we should love each other and anybody as much as we love ourselves. So if I would do it for me, I would definitely do it for you if I love you. You know, I never want to love anybody more. I want to love people as much as I love myself or less. I'm gonna start recording and kind of see if you can hear the people mowing the lawn in the background, because I procrastinated and mira la hora que es y yo no he grabado nada en mi día off. Hello beautifuls, my name is Giselle, co-host of the Strong Sunflowers podcast and founder and CEO of the Create app, an app created specifically for content creators. We should be launching in November, so make sure that you're following us on Instagram. I appreciate your support and I can't wait to share this project with you guys. But today in this video, we're gonna talk about 10 small gestures that make you feel extremely loved. And I'm biased because I created this list. If that's something that you're into, make sure you subscribe and let's get right into it. Number 1, acts of kindness. I love when people are kind. I feel like it's super easy to be kind to someone that you love, and it gets a little harder when that someone that you love pisses you off and you're in anger, but you still choose to be kind. And one of the things that I love about love is that for the most part, someone that loves you will try to love the people that you love. So I love not only witnessing that kindness and that love that someone can give me, but witnessing that love and kindness that they give to other people. And it doesn't necessarily have to be someone that we love or know. I love when my partner, for example, I'm manifesting a partner that is kind and generous to others as well. Not only to the people that he likes, not only to the people that he knows, but to total strangers. Like, I want my partner and my husband to open the doors for other people, for women. You know, I know sometimes this is a little touchy subject when people are like, no, I want my man to be snooty to these other women, like not even see them. No, I would appreciate it if my man is so kind and generous to anybody. Make sure that they open the door for them. Make sure that if they see them struggling with groceries, that they would help. I feel like a good man will always be a good man no matter the circumstances. And if you're with a truly good man, like, he's not just a good man for you. Like, a good man will be a good man always. Number 2, another small gesture that makes me feel incredibly loved is when people remember your preferences. Like, I personally don't drink, don't smoke, don't eat meat. There's a lot of things that I don't do coming from a very religious background, but it definitely makes me feel loved when my friends or people that are around me remember these things and they keep that in mind. So shout out to my friend Jennifer. Oh my gosh, last year we had the pleasure of going to go visit Lebanon. It's such an amazing country. I actually have a whole bunch of Lebanon blogs, so you should go check them out because they were hilarious. But we met up with this guy. And by the way, if you've never been to the Middle East, one of the things that I hated about Lebanon was that everybody's just smoking. They smoke everywhere. Everybody's just smoking cigarettes everywhere. And we were hanging out with our friend, and his name is Mohammed. And of course, I literally think he was smoking like a pack a day. He was like a fucking chimney. I was like, why? Why are you trying to ruin my trip? But my friend Jen, I remember the very first time that we met him, like, we were going somewhere and he had like pulled out a cigarette or something, and we were like in a smaller place, so I had to like step away. And she was like, hey, my friend doesn't like cigarettes, so maybe we can do something that's not so like small or crowded, or that people are not smoking around her. And again, Jen is one of those friends that will always make sure that you're good, that would always remember your preferences and the things that like you like or don't necessarily like, and make sure that you feel comfortable wherever space you are. Number 3, thinking of you text. I am notorious for this. This is like my favorite way, because I know life gets busy and we are so caught up in our own stuff that even friends that live down the street we don't see in months. And we're like, how the hell did we get here? How have I not even seen you in a whole year? You know what I mean? So when I think of someone that I love, I make sure that I message him or text him in that moment and say like, hey, I was thinking of you. I hope you have a good day. Number 4, caring for your safety. I think this is such a small way to show that you care about somebody. The other day, my friend and I went out to downtown and I dropped her off at home, and I made sure that I always stay there and wait until she fully gets in the house. And she brought this up to me and she was like, oh my gosh, like, you do love me. And also in my past relationships, I remember my last partner, like, he would not let me walk on the side of the street. I would always have to be in, and he would always remind me. He would get so upset. He's like, why are you walking in the middle of the street? You gotta rock like on this side. And just small gestures like that. It's like if we get hit by a car, he wants to get hit first. Such a way of showing that you love me without having to even do much. Number 5, passing the vibe check. Independent from time and space. And what I mean when I say this is, for example, my friend Emma, shout out to Emma, we've been friends for like over 15 years now. That's wild. It's been a freaking wild ride. But when I got married at 19, Emma had moved out of the state and we didn't really talk often. We would only talk maybe like once a year. But when I got married, I knew that I wanted Emma to be one of my bridesmaids. I freaking love her. And I literally messaged her and texted her like, hey Emma, I'm getting married. Here are the dates. Like, you're a bridesmaid. Let's go. And she was like, say less. I will be there. And she just married this past year in November. And when she messaged me and she's like, hey Giselle, you're invited to my wedding, it was a no-brainer for me. Like, I knew that I was gonna be there and support in any way that I could. And when I was at the wedding, I actually made like a wedding vlog for her. It's actually on my channel. And I also did like a behind the scenes kind of wedding style video. So you should go check those out. But at her wedding, that's when I got this like multi-million-dollar idea to create an app. Shout out to Emma for helping me create this little empire that I'm manifesting. But that's what I mean, passing the vibe check. Like, I don't have to talk to you all the time for you to know that we are friends. And for us to be close friends, that you can call me with anything. And even if you don't, just knowing that I can, it's an amazing place to be. And I'm so thankful for my 15 plus friendships that I still have. Even though we don't talk every day, I know that you guys love me and I hope that you guys feel loved by me too. And I'm so glad that we still get to celebrate these big, amazing moments together, even though we may be apart with time and space. Number 6, being non-judgmental. This is like one of the smallest gestures that you can do to make someone feel safe, heard, seen, and understood. Like creating a safe space of trust where you can be vulnerable is such an amazing way of showing love and showing that you care for someone, and for them to understand and feel like, hey, I know your heart. I know your intentions were true. I know like who you are as a person. I know you're a good person. Like, I'm not here to judge you if you have a messy house, if your kids are misbehaving, if your kids are screaming at the store. Like, I'm not here to judge any of those things. If you went back to your ex-boyfriend, whatever. Like, I'm just here to walk with you through life and hopefully to grow together, but never to judge. No one has time for judgment, because in the Bible, when it says, who without sin to cast the first stone, like, we're, baby, none of us. Put the rock down. Put the rock down. And also when they say like throwing stones in a glass house, like, you never know when you might be in that situation where you are still in your healing journey and you're making mistakes, where you're making things that like now, like maybe 10 years later, you're like, I can't believe I did that. You know what I mean? I'm just glad that I have friends during that time that loved me and showed me through the small gesture of being non-judgmental. Number 7, going out of your way. After I separated from my ex-husband, I remember I was leaning into my healing journey and I read the 5 love languages. And my number 1 love language is acts of service. And I feel like with acts of service, sometimes we do go a lot out of our way. I remember there was a time back in the day, my ex-husband drove semi-trucks and he was in Jacksonville. And we lived about 4 hours away. And he was only there for like 2 nights, but he just wanted to be home. And because the truck was there, he couldn't drive it down or had a car to drive it. And because the truck was stationed there, he didn't have a car to drive down. And I remember I had just worked like a 12-hour shift, but because he wanted to be home after my 12-hour shift, I drove the 4 hours to go pick him up, to bring him home so he could stay that one night together at home. And it's those small gestures that, I mean, maybe they seem small at the time, but like when people really care about you, this is what they do. This is how they show up. At least for me, that's how I feel the most love. You know, when you literally go out of your way, like, and you didn't have to, you know, it was only a night. Oh, I'll just see you when you get home. You know what I mean? Going out of your way to drive those 4 hours after a 12-hour shift. To me, that's love. And that's how I show love, and that's how I like to be loved. And this one kind of goes tied into number 8. offering to help even if it's not the best scenario for you. I don't believe that love is sacrifice per se, because I did grow up thinking that, oh my gosh, if you love someone, you have to sacrifice. And that led to self-sacrificing for the people that you love. And I don't believe that. I think that we should love each other and anybody as much as we love ourselves. So if I would do it for me, I would definitely do it for you if I love you. You know, I never want to love anybody more. I want to love people as much as I love myself or less. But I do believe that sometimes because we do love someone, we can have certain sacrifices, not self-sacrificing, but certain sacrifices. And I remember my cousin had broken up with her boyfriend at the time, and she needed a place to stay because she didn't have anywhere else to go. And if you know me, you know that I love my alone time. I love my space. I love the sanctuary, you know what? I love the tranquility of my home and my peace in my space. And when she was living with me for those 2 weeks, girl, if you know my cousin, you know she's a freaking chicle. She's like pegajosa, like, and that means I call her bubblegum in Spanish, but like she's just pegajosa. She always wants to hug you. She always wants to kiss you. Like, I hate when people kiss my face. Like, that's how you get pimples. Like, she always just wants to be around you and like be all up in your space, and that's not my vibe at all. So having her living with me for those 2 weeks was a lot, you know, but at the end of the day, that's what she needed, and that's what was best for her at the moment. To me, that's love. Number 9, give hugs. Oh my gosh, that same cousin, if you tell her I'm a hugger, she'll probably freaking lie to you. She's just too bubblegum for me. So I tend to not hug her. I only give her like 1 hug a month or something, because then she just goes overboard. But I love hugging. But I remember when I lived with my significant other, and every time that I felt like sad or anxious or anything, any feeling that I didn't want to have, I would run to him and run to his arms, and we would hug. And what I loved the most is that he would let me hug him as long as I needed to hug him, as often. Like, he'll be in the middle of work and like he'll literally stop working to give me a hug, and that meant so much to me because hugs are literally antidepressant. According to science, hugs release endorphins, and endorphins can help with pain and stress. There was a research done in New York City in a retirement home, and it said that residents that had 3 hugs a day or more literally felt less stressed, less depressed, had more energy, and even reduced the feelings of depression. And science also shows that hugs can boost your immune system. So there's a lot of benefits to hugs, and they say you need 3 to 8 hugs a day, maybe 12. I don't know, I was reading a lot of different articles. So just get all the hugs, long hugs, like literally melt in someone's arms. I also like being held like a little baby, but that's another story. And number 10, quality time, specifically intentional time that you spend with someone. I feel like time is the most valuable thing that we have on this earth, and it's amazing when someone gives you their time, especially if they're busy. Them making the time to give you that one-on-one attention, like literally saying, hey, I might be tired from work, but you are worth the drive. You are worth the lack of sleep. You are just worth it. You're worth the time. But those are about 10 small ways that you can make someone feel loved. And I hope someone's doing all 10 of these for you. Let me know in the comments below if I miss any small gestures that make you feel extremely loved. I love you guys, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye. Ciao.